Hello, everybody. I'm so happy to be here to be able to teach everybody this wonderful stuff. We're continuing now. We're now on Parshas Eikev, from the talks of Shabbos, the Torah portion of Eikev, the 23rd of Menachem Av, in which we bless the month of Elul, 5751, 1991. It's in this book. This has the Hebrew of English, or in this case it's Yiddish, and the Hebrew. There's another book that's English only. I don't have it in front of me, but you will notice in the book here, I hope you can see that they have letters, they have numbers, they pair numbers. So when I will tell you which number it is, and if you go on the internet, they have the English only, you just look at the number, pair the number. Okay, so we're starting now. This is Parshas Eikev. And it says, the Rebbe says that since we're standing now, this is the 23rd of the month, and it's also the Shabbos Mavorachim. Then we bless the month of Elul. So a little background, and one Shabbos in the week, the Shabbos before the Rosh Chodesh, the beginning of the new month, it's called Shabbos Mavorachim, because we see that from Shabbos the blessings come for the whole week. So therefore, this is the Shabbos that we're talking about. When the Rebbe spoke this was the Shabbos when they're blessing the month of Elul, which is coming up soon, and therefore it becomes elevated in Elul. So let's sing a niggin so we can be more elevated, and hopefully we can learn this in a more elevated, more beautiful, more mishdik deka'ifen. Yechi Adonenu Mareinu Barabeinu Melech HaMoshiach Li'elam V'Yehi Adonenu Mareinu B'Rabbeinu Melech HaMoshiach Li'elam V'Yehi Yechi Didi Yambamba Yamba Hayya hey Didi ya Didi ya hey Yehi Adonenu Mareinu B'Rabbeinu Melech HaMoshiach Li'elam V'Ed Yehi Adonenu Mareinu B'Rabbeinu Melech HaMoshiach Li'elam V'Ed Yechi. I was just thinking, when we say Yechi Adonenu, long live the King or Melech, long live the Rebbe, King Mashiach forever and ever, talking that we're giving koyach and strength to the Rebbe to do more and more good stuff. So when we learn the Rebbe's Torah, whether he taught, especially what he told us to learn and he published, so this is also true in Yechi. So we should be zochah to see the Rebbe in front of us, that he should be able to enliven the whole world with the or from Mashiach, and we should go right away to the base of Mikdash. So here we're talking about, therefore, let's start over the number one. Standing presently and on the Shabbos, which we bless the month of Elul, called Shabbos and Sunday, which is called the month of evaluation, being that it's the last month of the year in which everyone must take a soul search, namely a righteous evaluation of the godly service throughout the past year. It is a fitting time to reflect upon the general concept of soul search and the service that this should arouse by a Jew. So the Rebbe is talking about here. We're finding out that we're coming. The month of Elul is the month before Rosh Hashanah. So it's at the end of the year when we're standing in judgment on Rosh Hashanah, and the Shem is our special king. So therefore, this month is always been known as a month where we made an evaluation. We looked everything we did in the past year, and we tried to correct it. And if we had something wrong, it says the power of this month of Chodesh Elul, we can correct all the stuff we did in the past year. And also, I'll explain later for the future year. So the Rebbe is saying, what's it mean? How do you value? How do you make a cheshbon nefesh? The Rebbe says we have to understand this is a very good time to talk about what's it mean to make a soul search. And how is how's the service that will arouse a Jew to become a more holy, special Jew? And since the unique occurrence of Rosh Chodesh, namely which day of the week it occurs is also by divine providence, so the Rebbe is saying everything is in Hashem's hands. So therefore, That day Rosh Chodesh is very special, and when it falls on a certain day, it also has special meaning, and it's precisely so that we can learn that a lesson of the valuation of Elul also from the fact that the 2 days of Rosh Chodesh Elul, the Rosh, the head, which includes and leads to the whole month, is on the day of the Holy Shabbos, and the next day, the first day of the week, as we say in the blessing for the new month. The Rebbe is explaining that very simple thing, that everything is by Hashgacha Pratis, and you're supposed to learn from everything that happens. And how much the more so we have to learn when in reference what days of the week, when a holiday happens, there's something special to learn from that. It's set from Hashem. And so therefore we see in this month, when the Rebbe is talking about when they were blessing the moon, that Rosh Chodesh was 2 days of the week, was in Shabbos and then the first day. And then 2, the Rebbe says, that the Shabbos, which blesses Elul this year, occurs in the Parshas Eikev. So it says the second thing is besides it's being a parsha that you bless both days of the month, it's also a time that the blessing, the month the blessing happens in Parshas Eikev. Now we're on number 2. Since the month of Elul is the month of evaluation, we have to make a cheshbon of nefesh and the culmination of the service of the whole year. Therefore, include in it is the intention and the purpose of the general service of man to serve his Creator throughout the year, as alluded to in the acronym Elul. Ani ladodi, I'm to my beloved, that's Ab Yud, and my beloved is to me, but Dodi li is for me. Indeed, this is the general context of service of man, that his existence I should be connected, united with Hashem, my beloved. So the Rebbe explained, used to go over that this is the final month of the year, and so therefore the final month of the year has to have the generally included, the whole reason has to be in the final month, the culmination of services. We have to understand that how this is the purpose of man for the whole year in general. That it says the whole concept is "Ani ladodi b'dodi li," that this is man how we that we serve Hashem the whole year, but it's emphasized in more Elul is that existence is that I am connected with Hashem and with Hashem in a complete way. So this is my service. So what is serving God? Serving God to me means one with God. When I'm becoming one with Hashem. That means serving God. That's what we're saying here. His existence, I shall be connected, united with Hashem, my beloved. So this is my service of God is how I become one with God. And this is a union is in 2 ways. I'm for my beloved, and arousal of service from the Jew from below up, that you work on yourself to become a better person. You arouse yourself, that you make yourself a more better human being for Hashem, that Hashem should be happy with you. You should give a lot of Malchus. And in the manner of arousal, that's in the manner of arousal from below, that one is drawn to and connects with Hashem through his service in the realm of Torah and commandments. And my beloved is to me, is the second half, is drawing forth an assistance from above from Hashem to the Jewish people from below in a manner of an arousal from above. So the second level is that first level is I work on myself to being a better Jew, to make Hashem more nachas, that he should be happy that he made me, and that he should be happy that I'm his special child. That's one. That's one level, that I'm working to make myself a better person. And the other level, which we're talking about, is from above below, that I'm God's special child, that I have special God, part of God in me, and this special level. And so therefore that's working and correcting from above. When you work from your level, that's from above below. And the order of service is that first comes the aspect, I'm for my beloved, and afterwards my beloved is for me. First it comes, I'm for God. In other words, I'm working on myself to make myself better, holier Jew, that I should be special, that Hashem should see that I have no problems, I'm pure. And the second level is my beloved is free, is that's the level of how I realize that I'm part of Marmish God myself, and that I work that way. And not in the order of the verse. So usually it comes, I work on myself, and then Hashem comes, then Hashem reveals himself. So it says, my beloved is for me, and I'm for him. First the arousal from below, and after the arousal, first the arousal from above, and after the arousal from below, as regarded in the order of the godly service in the month of Nisan. So the Rebbe is talking about here is that there are 2 levels. The Nisan is talking about how God took us out, it's full of miracles, it's everything revelation from above. And so therefore we do everything from this special revelation that God gave us from above. but the service by Elul and by Tishrei is more the level from below. Ani Ladodi from level from below up. That I make myself a better person. I purify myself, and I become a better Jew. And I work on myself. I shouldn't say lashon hara. I shouldn't do things I shouldn't be. I shouldn't listen to my desires. Whatever it is, everybody knows he can say whatever he can work on himself. So that's a route. That's the avodah that we have more in Elul from below up, but we have both of them. Okay. So the service says, and since the order of the service and the purpose of the foundation of all matters is expressed, namely, that first and foremost the service is from below up, I work on myself. The service with one's own power, I'm changing myself, I'm doing what's right, I'm fighting against my Yetzer Hara. That one should not wait until there is an Arusa del Eila, an arousal from below, rather should be I from his own initiative to unite with my beloved, the Holy One, blessed be. In other words, you just shouldn't wait until Hashem does this wonderful thing to you and that wonderful thing, and you say, oh, wow, wonderful God is. No, you have to realize that I myself want to get close to God. I myself want to do stuff to change myself, so that God will be happy and will shine His light upon me. So it says that first the level is for me. I have to do my work. Now we're at the next paragraph. We're still on number 2, but we're a few paragraphs down on page 61 in the bilingual translation. As it's known that the intention and the purpose of the creation of man and the descent of the soul below into the physical world, as well as the ultimate perfection of the pleasure of the person, as was established by Hashem, is that he receives not na'ama de ksufa, free, not earned, merely bread Hashem. So the Rebbe, there's a concept that says that when you work for something, then it's really yours. Then you go and you work hard and you bring home a good salary, or you work to finish something, you work all day making this beautiful meal for Shabbos, or whatever it is. But when you did your work yourself, then instead of just getting it from the store, it's just much better. You feel much, you did, it's yours. So it says the same thing with Hashem. That Hashem doesn't want to just give us everything for free, because it's not as good. It's not as we have to work, and we work to serve God, and then where we get it, then it's a much higher level. So let's go over this again in English. As it's known that the intention and the purpose of the creation of man and the descent of the soul below into this physical world, as well as the ultimate perfection of the pleasure of the person, as was established by Hashem made this in us, that this nature, is that when he receives, should not be na'ama de ksufa, for free. Shouldn't he gets it for free? Not earned, merely bread. It's called bread of shame, including even not receiving matters as a present from above. In other words, he doesn't want to see everything. Not that I should just sit here and God shines His great light on me. He doesn't want that, because I didn't do anything. As is known by the saying of my revered father-in-law, the Rebbe, that by Chassidim there is nothing that comes automatically. Nothing just happens right away. Rather, one should earn this through his own service. And in the words of our sages, if one says, I have not exerted, so I need lo yagati b'matzati, if he says that I didn't exert myself and I succeeded, we don't believe him. But if one says I exerted myself and succeeded, we believe. In other words, the concept we see that that person really gets something has to be through his own energy, his own power. And simply this is the nature of all people, even non-Jews, and especially Jews, and most certainly that when they do their service with extra effort above their nature and what they are, than what they're usually what they are used to, namely they become the level of Oved Elokim, somebody who's continuing works on oneself. In other words, when a person goes beyond his level, his own level, he becomes a servant. God is called God's servant. So we're on the back, top of page 61, and through the aspects that I am for my beloved, Ani Ladodi, the arousal from below, one brings about the phenomena, but Dodi Li, my beloved, is for me, the arousal from above, and the drawing forth of godliness from above to below. So there he says, so therefore, because I might do so much nice things for Hashem, so Hashem looks at me and He says, I love you so much. You're so sweet. You're so wonderful, Tzvi. You did this wonderful thing. You did that wonderful thing. You didn't want to do this bad thing. You didn't do that bad thing. So because of all these wonderful things that we did, we have to take this thing about personally. So therefore Hashem says, wow, I love you so much, here I am. This means that although for there to be an arousal from below, we receive empowerment and assistance from heaven. As explained, especially regarding the month of Elul, when you have the 13 attributes of Pharisee, as revealed as an analogy of the kingdom. The Rebbe is going to talk about here is that even though we know that the power to do good, everything comes from God. That even though we know this, that there's arousal from God empowering us, okay, and without that we couldn't do anything. Especially we see this in the month of Elul, when the month of Elul it says that the 13 attributes of mercy, the whole month is revealing, godly is revealed in the world in much may. Like we bring the analogy of as when the king goes out in the field, then everybody there can come to him and he greets people with a smiley face. So the king is out in the field, so therefore this is like Elul, this before Rosh Hashanah, king is in his palace. In order to get into the palace, you have to really work on yourself and do a lot of good stuff. And it's not, you have to be very holy and special. They will let special people into the palace. Not only special, people do a lot of, everybody's special, people do a lot of special things. But on Elul, it says everybody, even a simple Jew, somebody who's not done everything goes great. Hashem is there for you, and they're smiling at you. That's what it means, that it says that the king is found in the field. That means that the attributes of mercy, which mercy is above everything, is revealed. And so therefore the Rebbe is explaining that in Elul, even though it's a voda from below up, Hashem gives us the initial push. In a manner of arousal from above, and from this, let's go over this. Let's go from the beginning. This means that although for there to be an arousal from below, we receive empowerment and assistance from heaven, as explained, especially regarding the month of Elul, when the 13 attributes are revealed as an analogy of the king is in the field. And in a manner of an arousal from above, and from this we have the power for the service for I'm for my beloved in the month of Elul. In other words, Hashem would never show us that He's special and He's Hashem and show us the wonderful things, and we'd understand Hashem is something very special and we want to get close to God. If He wouldn't show it, He would hide that to us. And we didn't know that Hashem existed. And we didn't know that It was here. There was no way for me to even start. Before I became religious, I didn't even think about God for 20 years. So how am I supposed to learn how to make me get close to God? When Hashem lit me up at the age of 20 and I started knowing God was here and stuff, then I just started doing a lot of good stuff. Baruch Hashem, thank God. And for this we have the power for the service of I'm for my beloved in the month of Elul. This is the lower level from below up. Nevertheless, in the month of Elul, so therefore the power to do this comes from Hashem, the initial power, but then we take it on and we take this power and use it for our service. The month of Elul is the month of evaluation, cheshbon nefesh, of the general service of the year. The emphasis is on the ultimate of the general service of man, which the whole reason we're making a cheshbon and accounting this month is generally how we're talking about how we're supposed to serve God, which begins generally how to serve God is I'm for my beloved, and subsequently it says, which is mean from I'm from below loving God, wanting to get close to God, which subsequently means from that says my beloved is for me, so God reveals Himself to me. So since the approach of a Jew the whole year, even when he stands at the completion of the service in the last month of the year, follows the service of following the service in the previous 11 months, must be that he should not rely on arousal from below. Rather, first and foremost, the main thing is one's own service, from the initiation from up below, correlating to the fact that the main service of Elul, correlating the fact that the main service of Elul is that during the weekdays, the field especially, and through this afterwards, when it brings about the aspect of my beloved is for me, the Rebbe is explaining further that Elul is the concept of weekdays. Weekdays means weekdays you have to work. 6 days a week you should work. On the Shabbos you rest. So therefore the Rebbe is emphasizing more the union of Elul is like weekdays. The king is in the field. And the ultimate aspect, I am for my beloved, constitutes the ultimate purpose of all matters, that I want to be close to God, and even the completeness of the arousal from above, even that God should have revealed himself to us from above, even specifically when it's on the outcome of the service of a Jew through their own efforts, which through this their arousal from love is eternalized below, to the extent that moreover that the arousal from below, working from below, is an even higher arousal from above. And from my beloved is drawn forth, in comparison to the arousal that comes from above before the service. So the Rebbe is simply saying over here that when you are Hashem, first of all, we talked about earlier about Hashem was the original and gave us the power to serve him. Now, but that power that Hashem gave us to serve him, that once we take that power and we know Hashem's here and Hashem is special, and we really do our all to make ourselves better people, to serve Hashem in every way we can, to that arousal from below, then Hashem reveals even much higher level than before. You can't compare the level that Hashem reveals from when we do our service to before we did our service. And to add to that, so this is the idea of a cheshbon, that we make ourselves better people and Hashem blesses us with more and more. And to add that this concept is alluded to in the fact that the first letter of Elul, alluding to the word ani, the letter of Aleph, and the first of the 22 letters of the Torah, of the alphabet, being the first of the letters of the Aleph base, it represents the first and lowest level at the beginning of all letters, in the order from lower to higher, whose numeric value was run, and from this we ascend from lower to higher, from easy to hard to the letter base, whose numeric value is 2 times as much, and afterwards Gimel, 3 times as much, and so forth, to level after level, until we reach the final level in the alphabet, which is the Tav or the Zav. The end and culmination of the letters represents the ultimate perfection of 400. The numerical, each letter in the Hebrew alphabet has numbers. So the Rebbe is showing that Aleph, that Elul starts with the word Aleph, that the word in Hebrew that starts with the Aleph, which is the first letter of the alphabet, and the first level is starting from the lowest level to going to a higher level, and it's the lowest level, so it's the beginning. Until you reach the forehead, and they explain other places that in the Torah are talking about that when Avram bought the tent, the Eikev of the patriots, that when he bought it for 400 shekels, because a complete number. So let's go further. So now we're talking about that everything has to still go from below up, and we see this in the month of Elul, that the service of man has to be from below up. We see this by the first letter in the month of Elul. The month of Elul is talking about the service of Hashem from below up. On the other hand, the letter Aleph is the beginning of the head of the 22 letters of the Torah with which the world was created, and everything in the world is derived from it. So now the Rebbe turns to the other side of the coin. Even though Aleph is like the lowest in number at the beginning, on the second thing, it's the head of everything. So one way, it's better than everything else because everything comes from it. And in the godly service, this alludes to the service by the efforts from below on his own I am from my beloved, which begins from the I below, and then afterwards ascends from below to above, from easy to hard, and this becomes the beginning and foundation of all matters, even of the revelation from above when my beloved is being. So let's go over this. So this, when we're serving Hashem, we're serving Hashem from below up, and this starts from me. From I'm doing Tzvira, I'm serving, I'm learning Torah, I'm trying to be a nicer guy, I'm trying to make my thoughts better, I'm trying to learn more. And afterwards I reach a higher and higher level, and this we finally come to, and this is the foundation. Foundation is from my starting, my wanting to do it, my desire to become a better person, and to change myself. That's for me. That's where everything starts. Since both, now we're in number 3, we're page 63. Since both aspects of I'm for my beloved, the service from below up, and my beloved for me is the service from above down, are included in the acronym of Elul, the month of Elul, evaluation. It makes an acronym means it takes the letters, the Hebrew letters, and we learn that each one means a word. So we mentioned this in Elul. That's what the acronym is. I'm to my beloved. Ani l'dodi, Dodi li. These are the heads of the letters of these are all the letters of the Hebrew month of Elul. So it says over there, includes, so we have both levels, from below up and below down. Unto my beloved is for me, is an Eikev Elul, the month of elevation. It makes sense to say that more specifically, there are both aspects of the service and the soul search of the Jewish people in the month of Elul. Both the aspect, I'm for my beloved, the service from below up, as well as to the aspect of my beloved is for me, the service from above to below. Even though in general I am for my beloved denotes the service of man, and my beloved for me is the revelation from above, and since Hashem desires that all revelations and influence from above should be drawn forth to a service from below, similarly to it, the revelations were similar to it. So in other words, we may say the Rebbe is mechadish here, there's something special. And first of all, we're talking about how Chodesh Elul is the idea, and the service of God has to be an arousal from below. You have to change yourself. But the Rebbe says we see that the month Elul, which is the special service about the service, the starting the whole service of changing yourself, correcting everything you did, and making a proper preparation for what we're going to do the coming year. We see that the word itself, it has both levels, from I'm to my beloved and from my beloved to me. The Rebbe says there must be in service of God both levels. Then we may say that through the service of Jew, including in it the service similar to the aspect of my beloved is for me, a service in the matter from above to below. This is a vessel to draw down the aspect of my beloved is for me in its simple sense, and arousal from below of all the revelation of God to be below. Okay. So when the Rebbe, let's go over this again. So the Rebbe is saying basically, simply, when you serve God from a level from above below, which we haven't talked about exactly what that means, but this is a concept that when that Hashem shines His light on me, but when you serve Hashem from this level, through Hashem shining His light on me, this becomes a vessel that I can bring down the highest level from godliness. That we should, it says, what does it mean? The simple sense of arousal from above. That means that we should bring down, when we're talking about we should arouse Hashem, we should arouse the essence of God, and He should come down below. So the Rebbe is saying, so therefore we have to have in our service of God, not only making yourselves a better vessel to receive Hashem, and Hashem is going to bless us, but we want a blessing that's even beyond that, which is what we're going to talk about. And by doing the service of Hashem, by doing my service from below, with also my using the concept of from above, we bring the simple, we bring everything from God. And we may say the Rebbe is also another sense. He's bringing a new concept that was never said before. The Baruch Hashem, the Rebbe does this a lot. This is special for us. Everything the Rebbe does is for us, because his whole being is to light us up. That's the whole purpose of the Rebbe. And we may say that these two aspects of the month Elul, I am for my beloved, and my beloved is for me, are alluded into the 2 days of Rosh Chodesh Elul. Being that therefore we have in the first, both levels, being that Rosh Chodesh Elul in the present time always has 2 days, that since in the month of Menachem is always a full month, and having 30 days, and in the words of the verse, and on the heads of your months, the Rosh Chodesh, the heads of your month, in plural, the Zohar explains, how many heads does a lunar month have? What's it mean? The first day of the month, there's only one. Rather, heads means the two. Each and every month, there are 2 days of Rosh Chodesh, or two aspects in the 1 day of Rosh Chodesh. So the first thing Rebbe is talking about how every in the Rosh Chodesh has 2 months, and part of it is the last is Menachem Av, and the first day of the month, the second day of Rosh Chodesh is there are 2 different levels. It's the first day of the of Elul, especially and as is emphasized in the days upon which Chodesh Elul occurs this year on the holy Shabbos and the first day of the week. So this year when the Rebbe spoke, so Rosh Chodesh was on Friday. And also the second day of Rosh Chodesh was on Shabbos. The first day of the week, the first day, and the day of Shabbos allude to and represent 2 orders and tallies of time. But there are two ways of looking at things. The first day is the beginning of the tally of the days of the week from lower to higher. You count the first day of Shabbos, second day, third day, fourth day. And Shabbos represents the tally in order from higher to lower. When Shabbos is, you start again. But Shabbos is like the level from everything's from above, everything's related from Hashem. This is where we will go to come to explain. And this was at the beginning of the creation. On the first day of the week, the work of creation, and the first day, on the first Shabbos, on the first day of the week of creation, began creation, and the tally of time of the week. Well, I'm missing. Hold on a second here. Das is given to beginners of that the erst and yom my separation, the erst in der erste Tag bei Yom, wie schon für my separation at sich angeheben Bria und der Nokum, meaning as man with the Shvua. Maila, but Yom change and guys when sich up Ibra. Okay. So as it was in the beginning of creation, that on the first Sunday, the work of creation on the first Shabbos, the first Shabbos. So the first day of the work of creation began the creation, and the tally of time. We used to have the schedule. They had time: first day of the second day, third day of the week, the days of the week from lower to higher. But in Hebrew, we said the first day of the week, the second day of the week, the third day of the week, the sixth day. So we go from lower to higher, and the first day, and the second day, and the third day until the sixth day, and then the seventh day. And so it repeats itself every first day of the week. Time starts, the week starts over again. Then we start counting anew. Today's the first day, similarly to the first day of the week. And similar to the first, and that where the Rebbe is saying, when we count, we talk, this is the first day of the week. It's like similar to the first time, but when God created the world. It's similar to that first day. And the counting is in a general orderly fashion from lower to higher, repeats itself in the same manner from the first day until the day of Shabbos. And the eating and the completeness of the day of Shabbos is brought about through the service of the 6 days, as our sages say, that whoever toils on the day preceding Shabbos shall eat on Shabbos. In other words, the whole concept that you have true rest is that you work during the week. In addition, there's also a second order in tally. There's another way of looking at things, from higher to lower, even though that the existence of time is a creation, meaning that time was created in the first moment of the first day of creation. Before that, there was no time. Nevertheless, it says in the sacred books that before the creation, which took place during the 6 days of creation, there was a Shabbos. As is known that even before the creation of time, there was something similar to the concept of time, a time sequence, before it became a created time. In other words, that before, even though time was created the first day of the week, and that's when the first day came, time was created because part of creation. There was a concept of time, I guess in potential before that, and before the first day of the week of creation of the world, there was a Shabbos before, and the day of Shabbos before the time of the 6 days of recreation blessed all the 6 days, and all of the time forever. Which this is the order from above below. From Shabbos, the completeness drawn the bracha forth in the following 6 days, and similarly regarding every Shabbos from it, it's blessed all the days. In other words, it says Shabbos from Shabbos we get the koyach and the blessing for this week. So every day in the week is blessed from the Shabbos. So the one level is that what you work hard, you get the level that you get when Shabbos. You reach a special level on Shabbos that you're resting on Shabbos, and what you work, you see revealed. There's another level on Shabbos that it's complete. That's so much. It's complete, and all the brachos and everything reach in a level that says Shabbos like when times to come. It's like a time. It's a taste of the world to come. And from there we have all that. From there being one with Hashem, we're able to give these brachos for the rest of the week, so we can work in the world and do our work. So that's what he's saying. There was before the creation there was this. And just as this is in the tally of days, similarly in the difference between the first day of the week and Shabbos in content of their godly service, that on the first day of the week begins routinely the service of the weekdays in an order from easy to hard, from below to above, beginning with the first day of the week, the easiest service. And after this we ascend to more difficult service on the second day, in which the concept that there was division and quarrel. Now, when before God created the world, the first day was just Hashem. There's a God, just was revelations of Hashem. There's nothing against him. Second day, there was separation. We did different things in creation. There was a quarrel. And then afterwards, in the service, in the following days, until the completeness of the service, the sixth day, the day of creation of the first man. This is when Hashem created, the fine creation of everything was creating us, as well as the perfection of the day of Shabbos that he completed on the sixth day, and the heavens and the earth and all the legions. Whereas the service of the day of Shabbos is in a manner of from above to below. This is Shabbos, that we get the bracha from Shabbos to below. Already at the start, it is in a manner of perfection and pleasure, eating fatty food and old wine. So in that Shabbos, you're eating this. You take on that. Whatever you do on Shabbos, you're like with Mashiach. It's Mashiach in you. You're just eating, you're just enjoying, and all of this is a great Tanya that Hashem wants you, because that all the pleasures and all the brachas are coming from this is a child to forth to draw down from above below. From it is blessed into the days of the week. So this, by having a wonderful Shabbos, which Mitzvah Hashem, we should always have wonderful Shabbos, and which has the final most wonderful Shabbos. This gives blessings for everything. Sei gesund, everybody. We're gonna finish. We finished up to 4. Mitzvah Hashem. Hopefully we'll finish the rest in Beis Hamikdash. And be well, everybody. Yehi Adonenu Morein Venu Melech Mashiach Le'olam Ved.